Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to one of our Pokemon Unite cast for Ranked here, and we are jumping in with another ranked game. Now, I didn't see too many of these players in the top 100. I believe there's at least one or two, but we do have SandraCheeks, who I did spot during the draft for the Unite for Ukraine tournament, which for starters is a great cause. I'm actually going to leave the donation link for that in the description below. I would love to be casting it myself because it is open, but I am actually working on that day. But for now, let's introduce the players, because I'm curious to see what SandraCheeks is up to. We're actually going to stay on board with SandraCheeks and skip the introductions, actually, because they are going for the old-fashioned strategy of just running straight across the map and trying to be annoying. Looks like we're going to go for the 1-1-1-2 strategy, which pretty much only works with this character, with this Squeevent here, with Greedent. And there it is. This is a strategy. I first saw this from Goof, where you just run across the map with your Squirrel and just try and steal as much from your opponents as possible. Got away alive this time, but this forces a reaction, and this can give your team a pretty huge advantage. The SandraCheeks will dash away here, just steal buffs, make it across the map. Now, this actually did get nerfed. They actually had a movement speed reduction onto Greedent as a set here, which makes it much harder to make this kind of play. But as you can see, it is still very possible. So we got a Blissey and a Hooper down in this bottom lane. Now, this actually works surprisingly better than one might expect. For starters, we have the experience share onto that Hooper. Now, that's a bit more unusual because you kind of would want Hooper to actually be getting the majority of the experience here, because Hooper is closer to a full carry than Blissey will ever be. This is going to be Rhino playing that Hooper. The Blissey is being played by a Wall, but it looks like they've actually been getting a fair amount of the experience. They are making the most of that experience share and actually seeing what they can do with this by having Blissey grab most of the farm, although we do give a little over to Rhino there. A little bit of a brawl in the middle of the map. SandraCheeks continuing to move around and just try to steal stuff best they can. We'll steal the berry in this case because there's a lot of people in their jungle. They don't want to get it caught out of position. Diving in, we'll steal there and get into that Greedent form. Not going to get the turn in time, but we'll steal one berry and the second, using the covert there. Very nicely done. Speeding away for safety. Unlikely to get caught here. We'll get slowed a bit by Krashy on that Wigglytuff there, but SandraCheeks will get out of danger. Very appropriate name, but love to see it. Krashy is playing that Wigglytuff, as we said. We have sosadsamYT going to be played. I'm sure I pronounced that wrong. They are on the Pteranodon. Pteranodon coming in here. PhilYoumusYT is playing the Marchamp. Slowbro trying to buy time for the moment. It's being played by PhilYoumusYT. Phil, you must YouTube. Charging in, tries to get a kill, but Greedent again with the covert will actually get away, and it's Krashy who nearly falls. Will stay alive though, as AssnDaveYT. We're going to guess it's AssnDave, because that is what it will say here. But another YouTuber, and the one player we haven't met yet, Canadian, on that War Turtle, coming in from top lane, will finally make their way down here. 62 to 44 currently, as Dreadmore is about to spawn. Phil, charging forward, lands the stun, big stun actually, onto that Pteranodon, who's forced to back up. Pteranodon forced to back away as it is dropped low, and that might be a kill for blue team. Yes, they're able to sneak in there. No, I stand corrected. Wigglytuff was able to pick that up from the side, as Fui does get isolated a little and will get killed off. That makes that a 1-for-1 in terms of kills. Sorry, a 2-for-1 by the looks of it. And War Turtle steps up quite far. Will survive though as they get the kill onto Slowbro. Here comes Sosa. Does do a little bit of damage, but Canadian is able to sneak away. Sosa does some good damage. Tries to weaken them, tries to prevent the turn, but the shield from Blissey is too much. SandraCheeks, though, unable to get their turn in, as they will get consistently interrupted. So we're going to see a little bit of a chase down in this bot lane, as they did try to get to the people on the score zone, unable to do so. Blastoise with the steal on these upper experience, but on these upper combis. And big damage from AssnDave there, doing huge. Gets the ult onto Pteranodon. They're going to try and pick up the kill there with Marcho coming in from the side, and they're able to chase them down and pick up that kill. Very nicely done with a lovely setup there from AssnDave. Like, it puts them in a great position to begin starting this Rotom. PhilYoumusYT going to start to block off that rotation point, which is good because here comes SandraCheeks. They lock him down, gets the unstoppable with the cover to get out of danger. This leads to SandraCheeks. to pick up the main objective here. Is Sandra going to come back in? Drops the ult to get the shield, charges in, but unable to get that steal. Very brave, very ambitious. We absolutely love to see plays like that. But now they're just going to have to back up and defend this Rotom here, at least for the time being. Going with the Belch build, covered a Belch. Blastoise, of course, just spinning. Having a lovely time, clearing up as much as they can. They're going to make her way to the top lane. On the other side, though, bot lane ain't looking so hot. An aggressive push onto that first tier point will make that go over to the red team as they once again position themselves for the Dreadmore. Here comes the Surf onto the portal to try and buy some time, but perfectly timed. Dreadmore's already down. Once again, over to red team as the Ruination comes out. Trying to chase forward. Canadian being dropped low in this fight. Massive damage from that Unbound Rings form as Canadian forced to back away. Using an Unstoppable, takes out Wigglytuff. Rhino is dodging beautifully here. SandraCheeks will be taken out, though, as AssnDave from the side has the perfect flank in this fight and is able to claim victory. That is going to be a 5-for-1 in that fight in favor of red team, who are just a little bit ahead in terms of turn-ins, but they dominated that fight. Very nicely done indeed. We can actually catch a little bit of the end of that fight, as I caught a little bit of the end in my replay. No, apparently I caught none of it. Unlucky. Hate to see it. Sosa going to be working on clearing this up as best they can, getting even more experience. You can see they're already full on Aeos Orbs, so they're just going to be picking up the experience and, of course, getting that blue buff. A little bit extra there, a little bit of an extra boost. They're going to try and take down Sandra, but they are far too fast, especially with the help of Trick from that Hooper. Just making Sandra so hard to catch. Gonna ult actually turn this fight around with the huge belt onto AssnDave, but the health, the damage is so high. Again, getting that shield. Gonna charge out of the fight and kind of abandon their team here. Rhino forced to back up. Blastoise currently making their way to that top road. I'm gonna try and pick that up, but there is gonna be quite a big flank coming in from the red team as Fui coming in. PhilYoumusYT coming in. They're trying to dive in. Will they get the steal? Yes, they will. Red stealing yet another objective away from the blue team. This is looking very rough. Koa doing their best to clear up this objective as fast as they can, with the Zapdos spawning in just under a minute. It's looking a little shaky for the blue team. They're getting outplayed quite aggressively here as red team continue to push on with even more momentum. And it's even harder when you have a Hooper on your team with that big ultimate, and there is a Gardevoir. One of the probably best counters for Hooper, but it's such a risky character because of how squishy it is. That Gardevoir having that Fairy Singularity can really counteract you if you start to teleport it all at one time, which is why we did see SandraCheeks go for a little bit of a delay. Blastoise on the side, trying to get onto Krashy, but unable to do so. So here comes the rotation in once again. A Dreadmore goes over to red team, grabbing it every single time so far. But they are dropping a little bit low here. Fui being dropped down as Blastoise charges in. That is going to be the first kill of this fight. Here's the Ruination to try and turn this fight around. And Blissey is completely trapped here. Will take a lot of damage and be focused down. And this is looking a little rough for the members of blue team. Rhino on the run. Sandra just respawning. Rhino will certainly die here as Zapdos will spawn. Rhino will eventually die actually with Trick. They may actually be able to get away using the speed boost to try and avoid Krashy, but Krashy, just too fast, will catch him here. Here comes SandraCheeks with Zapdos down to half health. Had to pull off the miracle play here. Gets stopped by the slow bro. Have to pull off the miracle play. It is going to be Zapdos over to the red team. This has to be a full kill fight now for the members of blue team. As here comes SandraCheeks chasing down the fleeing members. The rest of the team have already managed to kill off Marcham, but they have to pull off an insane play here. Slow bro is actually spamming their turn in. That is going to be an extra 100 points. Bot lane is being defended as best they can, but there's nothing left. So instead of protecting home base, only a couple are, and the rest are charging in to go for a team fight and attempt to turn it on bot lane. But they are being outplayed here. SandraCheeks is being dropped down. Durantodon has already taken out Krashy on the run, desperately just trying to stay alive here. They can get a speed boost from Sing, but not as much as Blastoise, who will chase them down and pick up that kill. Very nicely done here. This is looking very rough for blue team. 260 to 490. Red team in a position. Sorry, my phone just decided to start making noises there. This is looking great for red team as blue team will make a play onto top lane by the looks of it. Here comes the Trick. Canadian and Rhino with 33 seconds left. It's absolutely doable that they make the play and are able to make their way in for some kind of turn-in. Canadian in position. Here comes the portal. This is their chance. Everyone all at once, but the 5-man Sing from Krashy may have shut them down. Unbound rings to buy some time. Canadians low, 10 seconds left. They can't get the kill. Here comes the Blastoise ult, but it hits basically nothing. They get a turn-in. They do see SandraCheeks getting a couple points, but is it too late? How many people actually turned in? Was it just Sandra? They have to get basically everyone in to have any chance of this. As we get to the final scoreboard, was it enough for them to make their way back in? It was not. 490 to 360. Great score at the end, great attempt, but they just needed to make sure that they scored and scored a second time to have any chance of making that through. Obviously, the players can't see the scores. They do not know, but a valiant effort from the members of Blue Team. Red Team, though, very, very effective there. Great use of that Gardevoir by AssnDaveYT in order to, AssnDaveYT, sorry, in order to just get insane ultimates during those fights to really try and punish the members of Blue Team for how they were using that Hooper. SandraCheeks trying to be annoying, but Krashy actually rotating a lot of the game, making it very difficult for them to do so, and actually trying to punish them by just chasing down that Greedent a lot. It's a little harder to kill them, but it was zoned enough that they actually were able to get their jungle quite effectively. And, well, we have a Duraludon that's actually just able to tank so much damage, not tank so much damage, deal so much damage that they were able to zone out anyway. I mean, look at these kill counts here. Duraludon, 8 kills by themselves, 10 by the Marchamp actually. Oh, no, sorry, 7 kills by the Duraludon themselves. Very nicely done there. 7, of course, by Gardevoir, top damage dealer on this team. 6 kills by Canadian in that Blastoise. You can see how aggressively they were playing. They were diving deep into that backline. It was great to see. And they were doing some pretty serious damage with it. Utilizing those later abilities by busting out just as much dive damage as possible. That Hydro Typhoon at the end, though, sad to see, just didn't get the damage they wanted to. Didn't get the CC in order to win that fight. Which is a shame, because you look here, 0 full heals. They couldn't have cleansed it even if they wanted to. They tried, but they didn't have the abilities to do so. Very cool to see. A couple X speeds, 1 X speed, sorry, all the rest ejector buttons. On the other side, full heal. We actually have a classic SandraCheeks thing here with a fluffy tail. Little slow smoke from Awo, and of course, a couple of single ejector button from Canadian allows them to engage a little bit more aggressively. Make sure you take a picture of those abilities if you want to see them for yourself. SandraCheeks maximizing that sustain with cover 52,000 recovery. But overall, congratulations to the red team. It's AssnDave especially. Great play, great zoning there to really do some huge damage output. But the biggest zoning, and I think the MVP of this game, has to go over to Krashy on that Wigglytuff. They had such good positioning to try and punish the members of the blue team. And very importantly, they were always on SandraCheeks, making it very hard for them to do what they wanted to do. For now, ladies and gentlemen, I hope you all enjoyed. This time, I'll usually ask you to leave a like, and of course you can still do that, but this time my biggest request will be that you go and check out the link in the description below. I'm going to put the donation link for Unite for Ukraine, and if I can find the details page as well, I'll put that one down there too. I hope you've all enjoyed. I hope you have a lovely day, evening, night, whatever time it is for you, and I'll see you all next time. I've been Tetcher.